Hi to all three of you.
Hi.
Welcome to the Tribune.
Thank you.
Hello, hi.
You guys spent a lot of time in Chandigarh while shooting for the film.
Yes, we did.
So how was your experience of being in Chandigarh?
Experience of being in Chandigarh. I had shot there before. Was I? Yeah. Actually, it was great. I think the locations that we've shot there are places that I'd visited as a child only, which is, say, the Rock Garden.
Yeah.
Especially, I've not been to Punjab University, but we wanted to keep the film as authentic as possible, where all Captain Vikram Batra and Dimple had spent time in their real life. So it was great to shoot in Punjab University, where I think Vishnu has got some amazing moments and shot them very nicely. The songs that you see are there, and then the iconic Rock Garden in Chandigarh where we shot, and then a few other locations. It was great. It was always lovely to shoot up north. That's something places I've seen as a child, and it's always great to shoot there.
Nice. Kiara, you spent time with Dimple in Chandigarh. That was like your solo time, getting to know her, being with her. What was the experience like, being with her especially?
I think it's just what I needed to do before getting, before starting shooting for this film. Yeah. And it was so sweet of her to give me that time and to sit with me and share all her lovely memories with Captain Vikram Batra. And she really spoke like it just happened yesterday. And that made it much, very, very special. That's all. I just wanted to understand from her and feel those emotions which I needed to experience myself, which through her, thankfully, that happened. And then from there, everything was just a beautiful journey. And I think that's why Chandigarh will be very special, because that's where I met her. And apart from, of course, I'm sure Sid and I have shot several of our other films there, but in this film, all the places we shot in Chandigarh, we shot at the actual places where Captain Vikram Batra and Dimple, met, used to go out, used to meet each other, the roads they spent time on, and just it just set the atmosphere and the mood and the emotions for us to perform.
Right. So this is a question for Sidharth. Sidharth, this is the first time that you'll be wearing the uniform on screen. So what is the emotion attached to it? How did it feel?
Yes, this is the first time I'm playing a real life hero, real life heroic character. And that makes it very, very special. It also brings in a lot of responsibility, because he's someone who's very revered in the Indian Army.
Right.
Someone that there is material written about him in the public domain before. And then when you meet the family, it's just to see that this was somebody's son and brother, and for them, it's not just a commercial film. It's something that they're giving us an opportunity to portray their story, their family story. So I feel it brings in a lot of responsibility, and you have to approach this with the utmost care and give it the correct intention, and plan things, because you can't keep doing these films again. So I was extremely attached to this, and I was extremely involved in that process because of those reasons. And I keep saying this, and I feel the only review that I'm waiting for is for Vikram Batra's family to see it and then tell us, and hopefully they feel that we've done justice to their son's life story. Because I don't look at this film from a commercial point anymore, and more so from us owing it to the family to tell the story really well.
So when you, so there must be a lot of things about Vikram Batra that you found out during the process of the film. What is that one thing that has stayed with you even after the film?
Well, there's so much. I mean, he was such an interesting personality. I think one thing which would be his attitude towards fear, or how he would take his comrades to battle and then accomplish a mission. He was very eager. He's somebody who wanted to lead from the front, despite having the ranking to be slightly in a different position, but he would always lead in the front, even if his juniors were behind him. And I feel when it came to fear, he used to like it facing head on and eventually overcome it. And that's where he would give his, give his iconic lines with style and confidence on the battlefield, saying, "Ye dil mange more, sir. Ye dil mange more." It's unheard of so for somebody in real battlefield to say it. It sounds very filmy when we show it, but these are actual lines said by Captain Vikram Batra.
And yeah.
And I think that's what makes him so special. That that's also something that can inspire the rest of the world and people, that fear is something that stops us from doing various things. And he overcame the fear of the biggest fear, which is fear of his life. And he did it for all of us, for the country. And he did it in style and confidence by saying these lines. Lots. I think that's one thing I take away from it. And now Mera Dil Mange much more.
Wow, that's nice to know. I hope this also becomes like a very popular line, just like How's the Josh. After all, it's associated with the Pepsi already, and we keep saying Ye Dil Mange More. The emotion behind it, or how Vikram Batra, what it meant for him, we'll get to see through you in the film.
Yes.
So what all went into the preparation for both of you? So you were playing an army guy. I'm sure it must have been very daunting physically, emotionally, and to be somebody's beloved and being in a long distance relationship back in the time when it was 1999, no telephones, no video calls. What was it like? The preparation wise.
When you're telling someone's life story, and someone who lived in the forces and served us, and who passed away in a uniform, you want to do things authentically. There are a lot of technical do's and don'ts, know-hows within the army. So a lot of prep went into that, whether it's months of training in Mumbai with ex-army personnel, whether it's me or through Vishnu, rest of the cast coming in and training every day, whether it's physical fitness, army etiquettes, battlefield formation, going into a mission, hand gestures, gun training, and then, or whether it was when we went to Kargil to prep for our action, where Vishnu and Stefan and Sunil Rodrigues, our action team, had prepared and rehearsed, choreographed scenes so precisely that all we had to do is get acquainted with the mountains, which was very difficult, by the way. We were shooting at 12,000, 14,000 feet above sea level. The air and the oxygen there is different. The wind speed is different. Kargil mountains have no grass, have no trees for any kind of protection or comfort. If you fall or you slip, you pretty much hit a sharp rock and can injure yourself pretty badly. So those are the conditions that we actually shot the latter half of the film, which is very close to how the actual soldiers, now Captain Vikram Batra, fought, but in much severe conditions and in real life. So a lot of that preparation for that, to endure that physically, and also get the correct details out. And then, of course, the preparation happens on the emotional side, where you interact with the family, where you have so many people you can talk to as to know what Vikram Batra was like in behind closed doors in his personal space. And that was, I think, I was more connected to that purely because maybe we had similar cultures growing up. He was this very charming, lovable, good-hearted Punjabi boy who used to, eventually exude this positivity with everybody, where they used to feel really good and eventually attached to him. And I think same goes for what happened between Dimple and Vikram Batra. So, and it's funny that all the instances that you see in the trailer, which may seem filmy, are really facts that actually happened.
Yeah, I think so much about it seems like filmy and very larger than life. But yes, it does exude that positivity that, okay, I want to live life full like a king size. Yeah.
He was a very, very filmy character, and he did really say all these lines. Pretty much 90% of whatever we are showcasing, dialogues or situations, have somewhere happened in Captain Vikram.
So a lot of dialogues for the films are already written.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
We just had to be mediums in portraying it, and I think Vishnu and Sandeep have done a fabulous job in and curating them and putting in 2 hours so that we see it in a flow. Because it's extremely challenging to tell somebody's life story in just 2 hours. But we are hoping that people get the essence of Captain Vikram Batra as to why he's so celebrated within the army, and also it's an ode to all the 527 martyrs that we lost during Kargil, so that we appreciate and respect their sacrifice.
Right. Thank you, Sidharth. And Kiara, so what went into the preparation of becoming Dimple?
I mean, the best thing was to really meet with Dimple and understand, her emotions and hear from her firsthand all, the moments that they shared with each other. And I mean, it's so beautiful. It's also a very unique relationship to be with someone who's, serving the nation. You don't get to meet each other so often. Their courtship was of 4 years, and in those 4 years, they must have met each other not even 12 months. So a lot of long distance love, a lot of understanding the emotional turmoil while every time he went back, every time he had to go off for duty, and just getting that sentiment right. And like Sid said, he was extremely passionate. We call it filmy, but I think he's such a passionate man, and the things that he did that really charmed her and everyone around him. He did it with so much passion, whether at the battlefield or whether in his personal life. And she was very gracious to share all of that with us. And through her, I think I also experienced what any partner of someone who's serving for the nation would go through. It's not like a very normal relationship where communication is very easy, or you can just pick up the phone and make a call. And back in the 90s, it's even more difficult. But it just seemed like such a pure love story that to understand why someone would then take a decision to remain unmarried for the rest of her life, and to really fall in love beyond one's lifetime. It's really unique in its own way.
It's a love that lasts eternity. Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's your Bollywood debut, and that too a biopic. What pressure was it like?
Oh
How much pressure did you deal with?
Okay, now that is, see, it was more of excitement, more than the pressure. It was more of excitement, and because it's a first film over here, and that too, it's a film based on the Indian Army. Then you're doing on Captain Vikram Batra, and and you have a production house like Dharma Productions. Then you have the cast that's coming in, Sidharth Malhotra, Kiara Advani. I mean, it's all like, once in a lifetime opportunity kind of a thing to do a film like this, in your career, so that's a kind of a feeling. So there was more excitement as such, the pressure as such were only during the first few days of your filming, because the first time in the first frame when you lay, and you want to just see how Dimple, I mean, the first shot I had to lay was on Dimple and Sidharth and Vikram Batra. So how is it going to be, to see them in live, to see them in action? So that's why you actually see the film shaping, So that was a kind of a pressure, just about a day, 2 days, of filming. I think once then you got into the groove, then you are fully into it, So it was more of, I think it's an unforgettable experience in my life, I think the pressure, again, it's at the beginning of it, and probably now, when you really are waiting for the family.
Almost there. The time has come to release it. Yeah. And how were Sidharth and Kiara's actors? Were they following your instructions? Were they fun to be with? What was it like?
We had a blast filming, actually. See, because we had so many sessions even before with Sandeep Srivastava, our writer, and all these things. Yeah. We had a lot of time spending before. We ran through the scenes. We all used to rehearse it together. So we understood the kind of the way they would deliver the dialogues and all these things, because there's so much of information that they have observed and taken about Dimple and Captain Vikram Batra. So for them, it was just a muscle memory, and for them is to express as they are, So automatically on set, when you could just see them transforming, and over the course of time, I could see only Dimple and Captain Vikram Batra on screen, So it was for me like that. So because of so much of work that has gotten into before, so it was just a pleasure, pure pleasure working with both of them. Yeah, very sharp and very beautiful actors. I could say beautiful actors to work with.
That's a lot of compliments, Sidharth. Kiara, what do you have to say about Vishnu as your director?
I think Vishnu sir, the beauty of shooting with Vishnu sir is that he really makes he sets the mood and the tone of that scene, and then he just lets you live it more than even performing it. Like, I don't think I'm conscious of anyone around, the camera, anything. He just creates that atmosphere for you to be in that moment at that time. And whether it's coming and speaking really softly, if it's a very intense scene, he just lets you be in that frame of mind. And he's a very supportive director. So I think that's any actor's job is always much easier then.
Nice. And Sidharth, what were you saying?
Well, I feel I'm really happy and excited that this is Vishnu's first Hindi film, and I think he's had a great body of experience, which shows in this film. He's technically so sound. He's a visual director. He knows, because he's done camera before. He knows when the light will look good, what scene to use at what moment. He was planning when to shoot which parts of the scene so that the correct sun would hit the background, which I think is commendable, because movie making is a visual medium. If you had to just narrate things, it would be we would not be coming to the cinemas. And I also feel his energy. He was so enthusiastic about narrating this film, about showing this true life aspect of this of Captain Vikram Batra, or shooting the battlefield. I think the shots that Vishnu has taken in Kargil, but with the battlefield of the Indian Army and the commotion and the stress and the action that happens there, I think it's like no other Hindi film. We would definitely look fresher from all the other films that you've seen in the past. All thanks to Vishnu's vision of shooting it very handheld, and which makes it very, very real. The camera is right upright, close to us, and literally like somebody else just creeping in. I think I'm really happy that I'm here doing Vishnu's first Hindi film with this amazing story and team, and looking forward for people to seeing it on the 12th of August.
So this is my last question for all three of you before we wrap up. Did lockdown or the pandemic play a spoil sport? What were the challenges around this time while shooting this film, while filming Shershaah?
Oh, we were so well prepared that we shot it way before the pandemic.
It was announced in 2018, I think, if I'm not wrong. So you finished all of your shoot in 2019, the beginning of 2019?
Yes, we finished our shooting. The film has actually been ready. We were supposed to release last year.
Yeah, it was due to be released in 2020 May.
Yeah, no, in August last year.
No, July 3rd.
July, and then this year in August. So yeah, I'm confused. Whichever years. Eventually, it's coming on Amazon Prime Video, guys. On 12th from 12th.
August and Amazon Prime.
What did you say, Vishnu?
Sorry?
Did you say something? I missed it.
No, last year we were supposed to be coming on July.
Yeah.
I mean, as Sid was saying, we completed the film even before the pandemic was done. In fact, this pandemic has given sometimes more time for us to actually working a lot on the post-production and all these things, working a lot on the post. That really helped the film, which it really required.
Okay.
So I think when it comes to this film, I think we are all blessed. It's all blessing actually for us, which we've been facing from day one.
And you guys are happy about its Amazon Prime release?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I think the whole idea of making a film is for it to reach to the people, And I mean, given situation and the safety precautions and everything, the cinema halls. Though we would really love to see the film on the big screen. Big screen has its own magic because the film is built for that. The film scale is that. But at least now we know for the fact that Amazon Prime is going to is going to give you the story, is going to give you the emotion that you need on that particular date. Like the Independence Day. So we are just coming on the 12th.
It's right here. Yes. Wishing you guys all the very best, and I'm sure it's going to really. The trailer is so power packed. I mean, you get to see whatever you guys are talking about. We've seen the glimpses in the trailer already. So the excitement, it has already built so much excitement about the film. So looking forward to watching the film. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.